Hey everybody, I'm out and about on the streets right now, and I figure I'd make this little video. I want to remind everybody that Arkanoid and the Doctor resumes production this coming evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll most likely be just me and Ark, unless we could get Bullsy to join in on the show, or Minnesota Vikings fan, or Minnesota Silver Roll just as well there. And definitely we got me and Bullsy got to talk about something that happened on Discord. I only got a little taste of what happened on Ken's program this past Saturday night, so definitely we got to touch up more on that particular subject there. Now everybody has heard by now CM Punk is apparently signed with AEW. Now, fans of the Punkster has been rooting for him to come back to the squared circle since his departure from WWE. I guess it was in 2013 or 14. Remember, he also had his tryout at the MMA circuit, which he failed miserably twice in a row, if I understand there. And I guess, Punk is... a lot of fans have been wanting CM Punk to return to the wrestling for a long while now. There were chants of his name at various WWE events there, during tapings of Raw and such. So those fans will definitely be glad if he does sign with AEW officially. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes we hear all these reports and they turn out not to be true, such and such. Never mind, that's a car coming by, two of them at least. Now, another rumor that's been going around is the possibility that Daniel Bryan may be signing with AEW under his real name, Bryan Danielson. Let's not forget other former WWE superstars like the former Rusev, now known as Miro, the late John Hubbard, who in the WWE was Luke Harper, and later became the Exalted One, Brody Lee. We cannot forget, Cody Rhodes and his older brother Dustin, leaving the WWE for AEW just as well. And let's not forget Chris Jericho, who was one of the first major stars to sign with that company since breakdowns with, I guess it was contract talks, such and such, went on between Jericho and Vince McMahon. Let's also not forget Christian Cage signing with that company. You remember he was just Christian in the WWE for a good number of years. We also cannot forget Mark Henry, and of course the former Big Show, Paul White. I guess he's going to be doing just announcing along with Tony Schiavone there. And let's also not forget to include Jim Ross, one of the supreme announcers from the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression periods there. And let's also include Tony Schiavone, one of my favorites, along with two other wrestlers who wasn't really with the WWE, but they were mostly involved with the NWA, Colt Cabana and Thunder Rosa. Now, people are asking, why are so many people signing with AEW? Well, I'll give you a couple reasons. Number one, you are allowed to have creative input into your character, your promos, and your storylines that you're in. See, in the WWE, you're told what to say, how to say it, how to act, If you break character, you get in trouble backstage. Or if you don't refuse the angle, you could get punished by losing your spot to the lower card, mid card sections there. It happened with Triple H after the curtain call in 1996. And let's not forget, Owen Hart was offered this one angle involving Deborah McMichael, which he refused. Vince McMahon found out about it, and as a result, he was punished by being placed in the blue blazer gimmick that he first started with that company with. Now, the Blue Blazer, as you know, was a cheesy superhero gimmick there that, when you think about it, kind of started, kind of paved the way for Owen's death in 1999, when you think about it there. And I know that Aleister Black, or excuse me, Melancholy Black, who you remember was one of the many people released by the WWE months back, he's now with AEW. People are wishing him the best with his character development. However, he's still carrying that injured eye gimmick that he had with the WWE there, along with the AEW. Because when you saw him debut, he had a little bit of blackness around his right eye, along with that whiteout contact he was sporting. And let's also not forget Andrea, who is, as you know, Charlotte Flair's fiance. Another reason is because you're able to have hardcore matches. Well, brutal matches, I should say. You remember that one match at that one pay-per-view where Jon Moxley, the former Dean Ambrose, had with Kenny Omega. Instead of, I forgot the title of the match it was, but it involved, a certain time period where they had to take cover, where all these explosions would go off, and instead of ropes, they would have barbed wire. Both wrestlers were all bloodied up to hell. Dustin Rhodes, by the way, was also bloodied up to hell during a match with his younger brother, Cody. And let's not forget the match between Dr. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Both were pretty bruised up bad and bleeding all sorts. A lot of people were giving praise to that match there. Some even comparing, Britt Baker to Mick Foley, one of the original hardcore greats. Though Foley was kind of skeptical about that, I should say there. Sorry for my fumbling of words there. I'll try to get everything out as much as I can. And which, by the way, is another thing. You're allowed to add color, whereas in the WWE, you're not allowed to. And also, I think you're also allowed to do chair shots to the head in AEW. WWE barred that after the revelation that Chris Benoit had CTE because of all the chair shots to the head bumps, using his head for a battery ram here and there. Because of and it kind of makes sense on that level, because when you look at the late great Paul Orndorff, the late Jimmy Superfly Snuka, when you look at Perry Saturn, who's still around, but he's demented, as well as Terry Funk. Orndorff, Funk, Snuka, and Saturn were suffering from dementia because of all the chair shots and knocks to the head that they were going through. That's going to leave damage to your brain there. I mean, your brain is soft as hell. And sometimes that skull doesn't really help as much as it's supposed to. Look at Evangelista Santos. He got a massive dent in the head from some blow he had during the MMA match. Look it up on Google Images. His skull was cracked. Now I'm sure that shit would not be allowed in both WWE or AEW, but sometimes that shit will happen out of the blue. So if it does, we can understand. There was also talk that Matt Hardy may not be able to wrestle again because of this one brutal match that was done in a parking lot of some venue there. Fans would like to see that kind of stuff once again. Whereas the WWE is more tamer, more calmer, and more boring. And also, the fans at AEW shows, including Dark and Dynamite, they're loud, they're cheerful, they're alive, whereas on Raw and SmackDown, fans are like... I remember one time when Kane came out as a surprise opponent for this one wrestler, and everybody was like, ho hum, Whereas back in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression periods, fans would stand up in amazement and shock that the big red machine was coming out there to dismantle whichever opponent he had waiting in the squared circle. You know, it's not like that nowadays. Now, we have yet to see AEW do some serious, storylines like they did with the Attitude Era there. But still, the storylines and the feuds between these two wrestlers are dynamic. Like the Inner Circle led by Chris Jericho and the Pinnacle led by MJF. That's one of the things that's going on right now at this moment that's attracting attention. So I guess it's safe to say that AEW has become the new WCW towards the WWE. Now, the only thing we request is, Tony Khan, run your company better than what WCW did. That's all we ask. Because WCW was way mismanaged from the word go, according to many experts, including Jim Ross, another former WWE employee there. That's all I ask. All right, sorry for my fumbling of words, folks. I'm Dr. Earl. Thanks for watching this video. Once again, Arknoy and the Doctor will resume production this tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm going to get a hold possibly of Minnesota Vikings fan to possibly do episode 3 of Dirty Brown Eye Drama. I got to get a hold of him later today there. You guys have a good one. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave your thoughts and comments below about what I said, all right? You cats have a good one.